Morning. Today is Tuesday, January the 10th. Time is 9 o'clock. The Board of Commissioners is in session to conduct its weekly open business meeting. All three commissioners are present. I would ask you to identify yourself for the record, starting over here.
Josh Brown, Operations.
Brad Smith, Ada County Assessor's Office.
Tim Klein, Treasurer's Office.
Rob Brown, Treasurer's Office.
Jenna Vaughn, Auditor's Office.
Jim Fetzel, Information Technology. Evan Amadon, Procurement.
Holly Gardner, Information Technology.
Lynn Gardner, Information Technology.
Steve O'Meara, IT.
Antonio Serio, IT.
Kathleen Graves, Auditor's Office.
Joshua Smith, IT.
Jessica Dahl, HR.
Eric Hansen, IT.
Bob Perkins, Ada County Procurement.
Richard Beck, Development Services.
Bethany Callie, HR.
Elizabeth Duncan, Communications.
Diane Tendershade, proud wife of Luke Tendershade.
Would that be IT guy?
Robert Price, IT.
Rich Evelyn, IT.
Bob Batista, Expo, Idaho.
Trent Triple, Clerk.
Beth Mon, Treasurer.
Okay. Now that our clerk has every name scratched down, we'll be live on. All right, Madam Clerk, do we have any changes to the agenda?
No, we do not.
No changes to the agenda. All right. First up, we have two employee recognitions. We have Luke Tenduche, our beloved IT guy. And we'll have Commissioner Davidson read his commentary.
All right, this is for Luke Tenduche, who we affectionately refer to as IT guy around here. And this is for a big one, 25 years of service. And so Luke began his career with Ada County on January 6, 1998, as a support specialist in the Computer Information Services Department. Luke was running a little late for his job interview with the county. When asked why he was late, he informed us that while crossing Capitol Boulevard, he was literally hit by a bus, leaving him with a bruised and swollen arm. He refused the ambulance ride and instead ran to his interview. This is the determination Luke displays every day in his job. Luke has set the standard in customer service, demonstrating excellence and passion for customer support. Luke worked tirelessly in this position for the first 20 years of his career. Luke has since accepted the new challenge of running IT's video production services. Luke's skill for creative filming and post-production work has increased the video services catalog that IT can provide for the county. Luke excels in this field and is responsible for a large portion of the county's streaming, as well as maintaining video systems throughout the county. Luke has been a fantastic employee, and we would not be where we are without him. Thanks to Luke Tenduche for 25 years of service.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak?
I'll say something, sir.
All right, go ahead.
So Luke is also known as probably the nicest person in IT. We've got a couple nice ones. He's probably known as the nicest, and I think that's due to his Canadian roots, which makes a lot of sense. I talk about getting hit by a bus all the time. I'm impressed you got it done on an interview. Luke's a sharp guy, does a lot of interesting stuff, but the video things that this county now does really fall on his back. And as I believe at least a couple of you know, that 4 years ago, we hardly did any video conferencing whatsoever. And now we do almost all public meetings are all on video now, and I think that's really important because it allows transparency, it allows for folks who can't make it here. There's the whole COVID piece that it helped with, and Luke's really sort of the grease on the wheels that keep it going. These things in here go stupid now and then, like most technology does, and needs a slapping around, and Luke's on top of all that. And then he also does what they call pre-production, which is sort of edits out the big gaps, puts nice wording over the top to make the videos look like the ones that we keep for a long period of time on YouTube, make them look really professional. That's all him. He's learned a lot of that, but he has fun jumping in there and working on it. And really, I'm quite proud of that work. So thanks, Luke.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, we're sure happy to have IT guy here with us, because every time we have a problem with WebEx, we call him in. He does his magic and gets it ready to go. Thank you.
I'd like to say, just from an end user standpoint, it's super refreshing that you not only are wicked smart, but when but when we ask for something, you find a way, right? It's so awesome to have someone respond with, you know, the facial expression of, man, that might be hard, but I'll find a way. And that's really awesome to work with someone like that. So I appreciate the support from the clerk's office all those years that you did for us.
Yeah. All right. We will give you the recognition after we get rid do this other one, and then we'll take a picture for everybody. How's that sound? Okay, we'll have Commissioner Daly read the next one.
I think this says, these two individuals say something about our IT division, because of the 25 years and 20/28 years for Rich. Says something to the value of working here, and we appreciate all of your work. Rich initially hired on with Ada County in December 1989 as a programmer trainee. He became a senior programmer in July 1991, and in August 1993 was promoted as senior program analyst. Then in October 1995, he was promoted to analyst. In 1998, Rich decided he needed to head out for greener pastures. After spending about 5 years away, he realized he really should be working for Ada County. So again, in January 2003, he found his way back. During Rich's career with Ada County, he has worked almost exclusively in law enforcement. First with the prosecuting attorney and public defender, and then when he was rehired with Ada County, he was assigned to work for IT at the Sheriff's Office, where he was the principal designer and programmer on the Sheriff's application suite of apps, known affectionately as JMS. Today, Rich is a software development team leader, and while this is officially Rich's 20th anniversary with the county, he has actually worked for the county for 28 years. Rich is famous for his love of coffee and his forgetfulness.
What did you say?
So we're glad you're here. If you talk to him too early in the morning, you may hear him say, "I don't know. I'm only on my first cup of coffee." He loves his coffee so much that he carried his coffee and left his cup in various cubicles and offices around the county. Once he even received his coffee cup through interoffice mail from the department where he had left it. He has eaten other people's lunch and left his own lunch in the microwave more times than he can count. Is this forgetfulness because he is often working on 5 things at once? Or is it just Rich? Rich has great customer service. He will call you, walk over, stop by to randomly check in, etc. He likes to actually talk to his customers. In that regard, he is unlike his other IT peers. He remembers everyone he has ever worked with and is friendly with everyone. Many times he has taken someone out to lunch to celebrate their success with the team. Congratulations for 20/28 years.
Okay, is there anyone that would like to speak for Rich? Oh, there you go.
It's twice in one day, you asked.
Yeah.
So Rich has a lot of passion, and I first met Rich when I was still at the Sheriff's Office, not really understanding anything about software development. I'm not a software developer. But understanding the systems that he wrote out there that powered that place, the jail in particular, for so many years, it was a very impressive piece of software. And then, of course, as all software goes away. That's a hard thing to do when you're a software developer, is let your baby go, right? And he handled that and moved on to, I don't know, more important, but definitely bigger, more complex projects. And it's that passion, I think, that's what carries a software developer through. Having to start all over again, let something go that you cared about. Rich has done that incredibly well. And I also have to say I have to be a little nicer to him, because as some of you know, I still coach soccer and club soccer, and Rich is not only a referee, but he's also the head for the state in charge of training new referees. Isn't that right, Rich?
That is true.
He is. So if you know much about referees, especially in soccer, it's hard to get youth referees because parents are so nasty. So he's got a big job even when he's not here. But I think you still play, don't you, a little bit?
I've been accused of being a player, yes.
So,
Not successfully, but yes.
me too. He's a special guy, so, thank you, Rich.
All right. Anyone else here?
I got something.
All right, go ahead.
My first interview at the county was with him. 'Cause he was here before he even quit when he came back. So. He's the one who did the first time, the one I didn't get hit by a bus. And I went to the AG's office for 2 years, worked under Al Lance, and I set up Lawrence Watson as a new attorney there.
Oh, wow.
And, that goes way back.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had to interview him, I couldn't drive the bus that day.
Got somebody else to do it.
And you remember it. Okay.
Second cup.
Second cup, all right. Well, we'll take a picture and give you your awards. We'll start with IT guy over here first. Anybody want to stand up here?
Do we want to do one with the commissioners and one with the staff, or how do you want to do it?
Let's do one with the commissioners and then one with Luke's wife and staff.
Okay.
I'll be right
This one right here.
Oh,
Okay.
this is
You look
pretty.
Well,
All right, here we go.
here you go, Luke.
Hopefully I do you justice, Luke, because you're a good photographer. Okay, nice.
All right.
Come on up, come on up.
We have the citizens of Boise, or Ada County, recognize your 25 years of service.
Thank you very much.
County. Thank you. Thank you.
Right here. Big smile. Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah. Any staff? Okay.
We want to get the staff
All
up?
right,
Get
the staff
the
might be with him?
We can do the staff with both of you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you like.
I'll get over
That'd be fine.
Do the staff with both of them.
All right.
Might be easy. Where you going?
Oh, they're doing bridge for
Okay, you two guys in front.
I guess we'll do the
All right.
staff.
All these staff.
Okay, we're gonna have to cluster like
All
right in
staff.
here.
There you go.
Alright.
Howard's not ready, so you can be in front there.
Okay, you got?
Tony.
Tony, you get in front too.
I'm the short guy.
There you go.
Sorry.
We can see what you're
Right in
doing.
front of you. Okay, we have somebody standing here and then in the green.
What, me up here?
Yeah.
Or you can move in here.
Do that in there, so I'll follow you.
Want me here?
You ready? Here we go. Oh, I got everybody now. 1, 2, 3, and got it. Thank you.
Okay, good enough.
All right.
All right, here you go. All right.
Just do him.
Okay, Rich. You're next. Give anybody like to be up here with you?
No.
All right, all right,
All right.
all right. Well, there you go.
Thank you.
Rich, on behalf of the citizens of Ada County, I'd like to thank you for your service to the county. And here's your award. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming for that.
You want us to third view, Rich? Take a lunch.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to? Well, we did.
We did.
We already did that. We already did.
Luke was willing to share.
Robert, how are you?
Good. Long time no see.
That's why I waited.
Come on in, Rebecca. We've got a seat for you right up here.
Quite a crowd.
Yeah. Morning. Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, next up, we have a public hearing. This is resolution number 2832. I will open the public hearing on resolution 2382. It's a resolution modifying the non-medical indigency application considerations. Is there anyone here from our indigency staff that wants to talk about it a little bit? Apparently not. Okay, any discussion? Okay, I'll close public hearing on resolution 2832. Okay, I'll accept a motion.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I would move to approve resolution number 2832 as listed on the agenda.
I second that motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion, all in favor say aye. Aye?
Aye?
Motion carries. Okay. Okay, we have, next up, some procurement issues. We'll start with opening of RFP 23011, Ada County Employee Assistance Program.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Before you this morning, we have the opening of RFP 23011, Ada County Employee Assistance Program. Evan's getting that queued up right now, and if you're ready for us to open, we'll proceed.
We're ready.
All righty, Evan. So, Mr. Chairman, today we're just looking for the name of the proposer. Alrighty, so we have the proposers up there, and our first proposer is Aetna Behavioral Health, followed by BPA Health. Number 3 is CareBridge EAP. Our fourth proposer is Evernorth Care Solutions Incorporated. Our fifth proposer is TrueCare 24 Incorporated. Our sixth proposer is UPMC Benefit Management Services Incorporated, doing business as Work Partners. And rounding out our proposers is Uprise Health. So those are our 7 proposers. And we would like to request that this be tabled to the February 7th, 2023 open business meeting for final ranking and award recommendation.
Okay, I'll accept a motion on that.
Mr. Chair, I move to table the final rankings and award recommendation for RFP 23011, Ada County Employee Assistance Program, to February 7th, 2023.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. All right, thank you. Go ahead. RFP, opening of bid 23022.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Ada County Procurement received 2 responses for bid 23022, the ARPA Boise Riverbank Stabilization Project 2023. And Evan has those ready to go if you're ready for us to open.
We're ready.
All righty, Evan. So on today's opening, Evan will get the bid table opened up here, but we're going to be looking for the name of the bidder and the bid amount, including $20,000 contingency allowance. Okay, so our first bidder is Diamond Contractors LLC, and they have a total bid amount of $638,150. Our second bidder is Knife River Corporation Mountain West, and they have a total bid amount of $272,500. So those are our 2 bidders. One is a little bit more than the other one. We'll research that out a little bit, but we would like to request that this be tabled for award to the January 17th, 2023 open business meeting.
Okay. All right, I'll accept the motion.
I move to table the award of bid 23022, ARPA Boise Riverbank Stabilization Project 2023, to January 17th, 2023.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you.
All right.
We'll move on
to our third and final item under procurement is the review of bids received and award recommendation for public works projects less than $200,000, and that is bid 23016, Ada County Courthouse Revolving Door Replacement 2023. And we had 2 bids submitted for this project, and we do have a recommendation from the evaluation group for your consideration.
Okay, if you could read the letter.
I'd be happy to. It's a letter dated January 10th, 2023 to the Board of Ada County Commissioners from Ada County Procurement regarding bid 23016. Dear members of the board, after reviewing the 2 bids submitted, both bidders were non-responsive. One bidder failed to submit an owner's contingency and did not provide a public works license. And the other bidder listed a subcontractor that was not public works licensed and also failed to list the subcontractor amount on their bid form. Therefore, it is the recommendation of the evaluation group to reject all the bids submitted for bid 23016.
Okay.
Is the door just at end of life?
It is getting close to that, and I think the operations department would like to take a look at this project a little closer. Looking at the bids that were submitted, even though they were non-responsive, they were substantially over budget anyhow. So,
Well, good. All right, I'll accept the motion.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would move to reject the 2 non-responsive bidders for bid 23016, Ada County Courthouse Revolving Door Replacement 2023.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
thanks, commissioners, appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll move on to licenses. We have 2 catering permits. I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the 2 catering permits as listed on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
All right. You've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Well, now we have with us our new distinguished clerk, Mr. Trent Trippett. And he's gonna give us a report on the clerk's office. Go ahead.
First day on the job,
Have you figured out where your, everything is?
I think I figured out where most importantly, I have an incredible staff and things continue to go hummingly. So we'll continue that path. We are going to be gearing up in the next month or so with budgets. And so we'll be getting on your calendars for that to kick that off. I've got Kathleen who has disappeared, but gratefully she's agreed to stay on for 1 more year through this year to help me with that budget. First time me having the realm, so I'm grateful for her. Other than that, we're grateful to be through alcohol licenses and that big.
Yeah, that's always a push.
That is always fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're doing well, and I'm excited to serve for the next 4 years.
Well, great, great. Any questions of our clerk?
Thank you for your help with the swearing-in ceremony, and I think that all went really well. I was really happy with the attendance, you know, as I mentioned there, it was such a huge turnaround from 2 years ago where we maybe had 20 chairs in there because of COVID, but I was really happy with the attendance. Saw your family out there, and it was a good day.
I got a lot of positive feedback from it. A lot of people saying how pleased they were with everything that everyone said during the ceremony, so it was
Yeah,
good.
great. And we've got a duet.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, here. Yeah.
And we kept it to under an hour,
Yes, yes.
so everyone could go back to work, right?
And all of our guests had a place to park.
Exactly. That
Thanks
was
to operations. Thank you.
That was
Yes,
a well-done project as well.
Yes. All right, well, thank you. Okay, moving on, we have a claims journal. Accept a motion on the claims journal.
Mr. Chair, I move to authorize payment of claims on the Claims Journal dated January 6, 2023.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Personnel actions. I'll accept a motion on the 3 personnel actions.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the personnel actions as listed on the agenda and that the summary sheet remain on file in the Commissioner's office.
I second the motion.
You've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And we have with us our new distinguished assessor, Ms. Rebecca. You have anything for us?
Good morning. Well, having been on the job less than 24 hours, I'm going to say I have a wonderful staff, and I'm going to turn the report over to my Chief Deputy, Brad Smith.
I see you've got a number of tax cancellations on here. You're doing pretty good.
Let him do that.
Morning, Mr. Chairman,
Morning.
Commissioners.
Yeah, I just want to start out with saying we're really looking forward to the new chapter in our office. We've had the same assessor for 28 years. Of the about 100 employees that we have, only one person has served under a previous assessor. Everyone else has all served under Bob McQuaid. But we're really looking forward to this new chapter. And in regards to tax cancellations, those are gonna start slowing down, which is the good news as you're coming on board. So House Bill 562 was nice enough to have these coming out like this with no proration. So at the end of the year, these do start trickling down, and then we're able to make the corrections on the property roll. So, and I know Beth is appreciative of this because this does create a lot of work for her office. Yeah. And for our office, we just hit the January 1st lien date, so each year we put that value on there. So it's going to be a little tricky of a year because we kind of hit the high point, around April, May is when the market peaked. And we've come down about 15%, but from year to year, we're almost equal. So it's going to be a pretty difficult year when assessment notices go out because people are probably going to be expecting a pretty big decrease in the valuation, and it might not be as much as they think. So that could be a little problematic. But overall, we're just looking forward to working with Assessor Arnold, and it's going to be really refreshing to have somebody new in the office. So,
Well, good. Well, thank you. Welcome to your first OBM.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
And if I can make one comment, since Luke have a story of getting hit by a bus, and Rich, I played soccer with him in the men's league, so I have lots of stories there, but probably better not. But I just want to say, when I joined the county in 1997, the very first person I talked to on the phone who also came in to visit me to talk about her assessment was Rebecca, and we were able to work through it. And
So we have a long history.
So she's worked with our office all these years, and I'm looking forward to having somebody from the outside that's worked but with our office, where we working inside tend to not be appreciative of the outside. So really looking forward to having outside influence coming in and really navigate these next couple of years.
So you're saying we'll have a real short OBM?
BOE.
Yeah, BOE. Have a real short BOE.
Yeah, we still got a few months before that.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Welcome to our meeting. You'll be here every week. OBM. Okay. I'll take a motion on the tax cancellations, which are really not cancellations, but rather an adjustment.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the tax cancellations as listed on the agenda, which includes 54 tax cancellations for 2022 and 1 casualty loss, and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
Okay, you heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And now we have with us our distinguished assessor, Ms. Beth Mon.
Treasurer.
Treasurer, excuse me. Treasurer, yeah. With the one with the duet twins.
Sorry. Good morning, Mr.
Good
Chairman,
morning.
Commissioners. So our report this morning is our investment report for December, and recognizing that Commissioner Daly, you might not be familiar with this report, so I'll just briefly provide an overview. So the treasurer is permitted to invest county funds as authorized by state statute and in accordance with the county's investment policy. And so we review the investment policy every 2 years, and then every 2 years the board adopts that policy, and that sets forth the guidelines under which we invest, and then also states our objectives. And those objectives are safety, preservation of capital, liquidity, making sure we meet our obligations as they come due, and then third is return or yield. So with those objectives in mind, we invest, we run a cash flow analysis on a daily basis, and then at the end of each month, we present to you our investment report, highlighting some of our investment activities that include purchases or maturities and calls or anything significant like that. So that's what's before you today. And with that, I'll hand it over to Tim Klein, our Chief Deputy, who will provide some more information about this report. Do you have a copy?
I have an extra copy.
You have extra, okay.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Morning.
Well, this month, we're looking at December, and
we saw the Fed raised again another 50 basis points. That helps our cash investments.
So somebody does benefit from increased interest rates.
That's right. We have some benefits and some drawbacks because the existing bonds, market values drop.
Right.
When we look at this month, our front page there just gives an overall summary of the investments, the types of investments there are. We recently opened a new money market. We had moved $10 million into that. I think I spoke about that last month when I was here. And as you go through and you get to a few pages in where we highlight that blue chart, you'll see it appear for the first time. And that's just because it simply didn't exist before. The yield on that is pretty good. We earned just under $22,000 in interest on that investment. For the month, with our various investments, we earned about $591,000 in interest payments. We had one new purchase in December. That was a mortgage-backed security. That's on the following page after the one with the blue chart. And there, $1,370,000. We purchased that at a discount. Our yield to maturity on that is 4.566. So as you can see, if you look back over the past couple years, the yields on those bonds have been increasing. Other than that, there hasn't been a big change. We're just watching the Fed, see what they're going to do. You hear from different economists various opinions, and nobody really knows for sure. But because of the approach we take with our investments, very, very safe. We have a good distribution of the types of investments, and I think the county's in good shape. We continue to earn interest, and we get about $1 million a month, approximately, in return of principal from our mortgage-backed securities. So we're able to reinvest, and this new purchase is a result of that, because the interest gets allocated to the various funds within the county.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Are there any questions? Well, good. Thank you for the good report. And again, it should be noted that the decrease in market value does not affect our position at all, because we never sell them in advance. We wait for maturity.
That's correct.
That's correct. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next up we have Richard, Development Services.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, up for your consideration this morning is the final plat for the 8th phase of Dry Creek Ranch subdivision. As indicated, it includes 49 residential lots and 6 common lots. And Development Services staff has reviewed the submitted final plat and has found that the applicant has been able to comply with all applicable conditions of approval, and that the final plat complies with our county code and state code, and recommend that the board authorize the chair to sign and stamp the final plat.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none, I will accept a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve application number 201601258-S-F, Dry Creek Ranch, and authorize the chair to sign and stamp the final plat on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next up we have Expo Idaho has an interim event. Bob here. Yeah, here you are, Bob. What do we have here, Bob?
We've got another quinceanera. It's kind of a standard client that we have. We do a lot of quinceaneras out there.
Okay. All right, well, great. Any questions from the board?
No, I would move to approve the one interim event agreement as listed on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now we have Parks and Waterways. I see we have Mr. Koberg online. Do you have anything to tell us about these 7 new events?
Oh, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I sure don't. Just similar to Bob, business as usual. We are as busy as ever once again, and yeah, just a listing of events there for you to review and approve.
Thank you. All right, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the 7 Barber Park Education and Event Center agreements as listed on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have 5 agreements. I've reviewed the agreements and find them acceptable. Is there any questions or any issues about any of these agreements? Hearing none, I'll accept the motion.
Commissioner Daly had mentioned something about the weed. We talked about that yesterday, weed and pest control there.
I did get the answer to that. My question was whether we were getting, how we negotiated the contract in terms of price for the weed. And he answered that question for me, so appreciate it.
Well, you're a negotiator right there.
That was all Adam.
Yeah, okay, Adam negotiated, all
Well,
right.
I guess my concern was knowing how the state negotiates with the jail, and when we get inmates into the jail and they just give us a price that is not necessarily the price we have to pay, I wanted to make sure we weren't having the same problem with our weed control, that we're contracting with the state, which is not the case, so.
All right, well, thank you. Any other issues or questions about the agreements?
Let's see.
Hearing none, I'll accept the motion.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the 5 agreements as listed on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the appropriate documents on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
You've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Unless there's any further business in front of the board today, we'll be in recess. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Your diligence Well, good morning. Today is Tuesday, January the 10th. Time is 9:40. The Board of Commissioners, sitting as the Board of Emergency Medical Services District, is in session to conduct its weekly open business meeting. All three commissioners are present. Also with us today,
Sean Rain, paramedics.
Sean,
Elizabeth Duncan, Communications.
an IT guy. Okay, Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
No, they're not.
No changes to the agenda. Okay. First up will be our claims journal. I'll accept a motion on the claims journal.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I move to authorize payment of claims as listed on the Claims Journal dated January 6th, 2023 regarding EMS expenditures.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Next up is personnel actions.
I move to approve the personnel actions as listed on the agenda and that the summary sheet remain on file in the Commissioner's office.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, we have two agreements. Agreement between Ada County Emergency Medical Services District and Alyssa Larson from the Idaho State University Paramedic Program attendance. Agreement number 15114, agreement between Ada County Emergency Medical Services District and Jordan Jocelyn for Idaho State University Paramedic Program. Any questions about that program or issue?
This is where, Tom, you can always ask to, especially if somebody from the department is here, and obviously this is an EMS meeting, so the EMS director is here, but he can always expound on any contract or give you any details you need. And so we'll, depending on the contract, we'll ask for more info or just, you're here, so you might as well talk, right? That's kind of how I look at it, he came all the way out, so.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, this is very similar to the contract last week where with our schedule change, they aren't on set days, so they will be attending the classes out at ISU to go to paramedic school while they're on duty. And so what we ask of them in return is some time back committed to Ada County as a paramedic when they finish the program.
Okay. Is there any other questions? If not, I'll accept a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the two agreements as listed on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the appropriate documents on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, give us an EMS update.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. So the number I report every week, it's down to 5.6 right now. It does look like it's ticking up a little bit, so we'll just keep an eye on that over the next week to see kind of post-holidays, post-Christmas and New Year's if we see another little uptick. But as we've said before, that's not just COVID, that's flu, RSV, a lot of different things. So beyond that, one question I had for the board is January 23rd from 9 to 1, we will be doing EMS Day at the State House. And so if you're interested, I can work with Steve Rutherford if you're interested in having that on your calendar to stop by. Obviously, 4 hours is a lot of your time, but maybe to stop by and
Sure.
check in. So.
And that'll be a number of EMSs, a number of
Yes, sir.
fire departments, so forth.
Yeah, we've got a really good representation from around the state. As I've said before, trying to not make it Ada County centric down
Sure.
there because we don't want to do that. Even to the point that I have Canyon County bringing their ambulance over so that we don't have one of ours parked out front. Just being cautious.
And where do you set up? You set up on the
second floor rotunda. We have 13 tables representing different issues facing EMS. It really follows pretty closely the OPE report that came out in 2021, talking about the issues, educating folks, and with the end goal for this legislative session of getting that memorial resolution that directs the task force to come back with actual legislation and solutions in 2024. So.
And we've talked about getting statistics around the state in terms of the numbers, especially off of public lands. Is that, are we gonna have some information to give, or they, not us, not Ada County, but
right.
Are the participants gonna be giving to the legislators from other counties, from other parts of the state that
Yes, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Daly. I know that there are some examples. Clark County is one where a lot of public land exists. And they last year ran, I believe it was 89 calls, but only 27 of those were on their own residence. The rest were, driving through or recreating somewhere up there. And so we do have examples of that. It's a little convoluted because it's the entire state map, but they're showing where the call volume is run around the state. And so the state EMS Bureau does have that data to say this occurred on federal lands or not. We have that here in Ada County too. The number's fairly small for us because most of it's out south and there isn't a lot that we do as far as running calls out in the sagebrush out there. But areas like Clark County or some of those counties that are mostly federal land, in the summertime, I suspect that most of the calls that are run are on people that are recreating up there, not their own residents. So.
Good.
Okay.
I would like to, I don't know what the process is because of us being together at the same time, but we will coordinate. I would like to be there some time, not obviously not for the 4 hours.
Sure.
Yeah, look, we'll arrange that to where we can go participate a little bit.
Okay.
Do you want us to stand in your booth and hand out trinkets or anything?
Sure. Trinkets.
All right.
We'll grab legislators, make sure they come over to the
Right.
table.
There you go. Right.
So they don't walk around you.
Walk around, yeah.
Right.
Ask questions.
Well, I have a question on how's our statewide EMS plan coming with Medicaid?
We have a meeting on Friday with Juliette Sharon and her staff. I have a gut instinct that it's going to go well based on our last meeting, but really won't know until Friday. So after Friday, if we don't hear the right thing, I'll probably be coming back to this body to ask for some assistance.
Well, it has since March to get this handled.
On an emergency.
On an emergency. Makes you
bill.
wonder why we put the emergency clause in the bill.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
and that'll be part of the report that you were talking about that's gonna go to the legislature in terms of reporting?
We'll talk about it down at EMS Day. I'm sure legislators are gonna have questions because, and we tried to make it clear last year that GMT bill helps, but it's not the solution.
Right.
In fact, the number that is being reported, and I find this almost hard to believe, is that 85% of EMS agencies in the state don't bill for service. And if they don't bill for service, they can't even access the GMT funds because you have to have that national provider ID number to be able to bill Medicare and Medicaid. If you don't have that, you can't get GMT. And so part of what we're going to do this spring and summer is try to get out into the 6 different regions and educate those folks. I know there's a lot of pride from many of them that they would run a call on somebody in their community and not give them a bill, but they're making it harder on themselves in some ways by not doing that. So
yeah, particularly when there's available resources to pay for the lion's share of the bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where we've had this conversation. That's where I was going with the question on statistical basis of where we're doing statewide, not Ada County centric, statewide where we're doing it and then accessing the money that may or may not be available.
Sure.
And sometimes they just don't even know. I am a member of Treasure Valley Givers, and last year our nonprofit was the Idaho Search and Rescue.
Oh, right.
And most of it's volunteer, and they didn't even realize how they could access funds when we started dialoguing.
Sure.
They just do their thing and get their people that help them, volunteers, and sometimes that's good because we need that, but also we need to be accessing all that's available to us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think that may be one reason why it hasn't been the highest priority with HW.
Well, their stated reason is that they, Mr. Jeppesen, the director of the Department of Health and Welfare, said that Medicaid needs 800 FTEs to do the work that they're doing, and they only have 200 currently. In the conversation we had with Juliette just prior to Christmas, she thought the first funds were going to be available this summer, at basically the end of the state's fiscal year, with a payment coming a day or two later in July. But the reality is it's not until 2024 because CMS has to evaluate the state plan amendment. So there's kind of that year lag time. And she was concerned that she wouldn't have that full-time employee dedicated to this program to administrate the program itself. Once she found that out, you could see her relax, and even her CFO kind of said, no, I think we can get this submitted by March. So I feel pretty confident, but we'll see.
Did the consultant we hired to help out with the statewide plan?
Yes, PCG, the Fire Chiefs Association has contracted with Public Consulting Group. They have the state plan written now. There have been a few things that have happened in Washington State, Oregon, and California with their state plans that actually gave PCG an opportunity to kind of get the plan correct before they submit it. CMS wanted some changes in there. It sounds like a lot of those changes are going to be more to our favor than against us, specifically allowing for when we go out on a Medicaid patient and treat and release them without transporting, those funds would also be eligible as part of the GMT program, where previously they weren't. And so it's nice to see the federal government kind of waking up to that idea. One example, and I think we mentioned this to Commissioner Daley when he did his ride-along, a diabetic patient with a low blood sugar, we will go out, give them an IV, put an IV in them, give them D50, maybe even make them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, because then they don't need to go to the hospital. We're saving the patient time and money. We're saving that resource at the hospital. And unfortunately, the federal government, Medicare specifically, won't pay us a dime for doing the right thing. And so it's nice to see that things are starting to change at that level, but it'll take time. Yeah. We move slowly, and the federal government moves even slower.
Well, and as I've always said, in government, that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Yep.
Sometimes that's not always negative.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else for us?
That's it.
Hey, we're good now. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, if there's no further business, we'll be in recess.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.